welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down this 9-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings, this Sunday night slate. Before we get into it, if you played the slate last night, hopefully you played some James Harden. He was a guy that I said was completely unfadable. I said I was projecting him to be about 50% owned in tournaments. I know in the $15 big tourney on DK, he was about 47%, and I said if that was the case, I would be very happy because as far as I was concerned, I don't care. That just makes me smarter than 50% of other people. And he went out there and put up 79 DK points, 44 points, 4 rebounds, 17 assists. So all the chubby jokes about James Harden didn't look too good after last night. Big game from him. And then as far as this slate tonight, we do have some injury news up in the air. We'll get all into that and break it down. But before we do that game-by-game breakdown, I do just want to mention that I have released an Mba DFS package over here on Patreon where you can get access to my NBA projections, my NBA data sheet, player stats, team stats, play context stats, core plays, injury impact insights, NBA Discord chat access, a bunch of tools that I put together to help you with your lineups, and something that I can guarantee is you're not going to get all the tools that I put together for this price tag anywhere else in the industry. I've been playing DFS for about 4 years. I know there's other stuff out there. Not saying it's not good stuff, but it's definitely not as cheap as what I put together. So that's the goal, provide you with valuable content that's affordable, so you don't have to be paying those $35, $40 subscription fees to these large sites. So, and then lastly, you can follow me over on Twitter at KJK_DFS, where I have started a little bit of a tradition here where every night I tweet out my top projected play, based on salary and my projections for how much they're going to multiply their price tag by. Last night it was Christian Wood. I projected him to 7.3x his price tag. And looking at the DK Live app, he put up 53.75 points at only that 5.9K price tag. So if you played him last night, I guarantee you were really happy with that as well. Not that that was a very hot take last night, but going to be tweeting out my top play every single night over there on Twitter. Follow me at KJK_DFS. And with all that promo stuff out of the way, all that information as far as what I got going on, let's go ahead and start breaking this down game by game. The first game that we have here is Brooklyn at Charlotte, kicking it off at 7 o'clock. Breaking this one down, and the total. This game comes in with a 226 over/under. With a 9-point spread in favor of the Brooklyn Nets. So the only concern that I would say right off the bat is that there is a possibility this game turns into a blowout, as you will see with many of the games on this slate that we're going to discuss. But a 226 over/under is pretty decent. The Brooklyn side expected to score about 117 points. So as far as their studs in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, at 9-1 and 9-4, I'd say they're still pretty reasonably priced for the amount of usage they're going to get this year. These two guys are obviously a 1A, 1B in this offense. However, I will say in a game like this where it's expected to be kind of a cruise along win for them, taking on the Charlotte Hornets, who aren't exactly expected to be the top of the line competition for them, I do lean towards some of the more so role players on the team taking over and maybe taking advantage of some of that. So my favorite play on this team tonight would be Spencer Dinwiddie at 5.5. This guy is a guy that's a very good basketball player when he gets the opportunity and the usage. We've seen in the past, last year when Kyrie was out, Spencer Dinwiddie does have the ability to handle the ball, take over the offense. He can shoot the three. He can shoot off the dribble, create his own shot, all of that fun stuff. And at only 5.5, I do think he is underpriced, so I like him. On the Charlotte side, my favorite play is Devontae Graham at 6.5. Devontae Graham, a guy that really came into his own last year. If you aren't familiar with him, he can definitely hoop, and he can definitely put up 40-plus DK points pretty easily on a night-in, night-out basis if he's getting the usage and he's getting the shots. And I do like him at a 6.5 price tag tonight. And then as far as the rest of the team, another guy that I like is Miles Bridges at 4.9. I think that Miles Bridges is a little underpriced at his 4.9 price tag. In an up-tempo game, a guy like this who's a wing that's just really good at getting it out and running the fast break and scoring his points in transition. Not really much else, but a catch and shoot guy, and then a guy that can dribble off the wing and get in and finish at the rim. So he needs to be playing in an up-tempo game where he can get out in transition. I do think this one kind of supplies that environment for him. And then we did see last night Cody Zeller being out and Bismack Biyombo take over at only 3.8. He's definitely still viable in this one. Cody Zeller is going to be sidelined 4 to 6 weeks, so a big front court in DeAndre Jordan and Jarrett Allen being in there a lot, I do think we could see Bismack Biyombo get plenty of playing time, and at only 3.8, it makes sense to go back to him tonight. So those would be my guys that I'm looking to in this one. The last guy that I would mention is Toriyon Prince, who does grade out, pretty good on my model. The only problem is he's not getting nearly the minutes that I was projecting him to get in this offense early on. He's kind of getting light minutes in the rotation. If this game gets away, maybe we'll see him get some more minutes, and only a 3-2, a guy that can shoot it from the wing from behind the arc could pay off his price tag pretty easily on DraftKings. So if you want to play the blowout route, it would make sense to play some Toriyon Prince in this one. Moving further along, San Antonio at New Orleans. This one comes in with a 228 over-under, so one of the top over-unders that we're going to discuss on the slate. I believe the top over-under, actually, so definitely some guys that we're going to want to target in this one based on price tags. And I definitely like the San Antonio side of the ball, price tags wise. I mean, Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram are at the top for this New Orleans team. Of course, you can target them. These guys are 1A, 1B in this offense going on early. Zion had 32 points, 14 rebounds last time out, taking on the Miami Heat, and I think he can keep it going at 8-2. Brandon Ingram, same rule applies at 8K. Same thing I was saying. These guys are 1A, 1B. The volume's going to be there for them. They're going to get a lot of shots like them. My favorite option on the Pelican side before we move over to the San Antonio side would be Lonzo Ball due to his price tag. As mentioned, we're always wanting to target guys that can get us 6x, 7x, if not more, in tournaments. And with Lonzo coming in at 6'2", I do think that he could get up there and pay off this price tag in a big way for you. And then on the other side, DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge are great plays on this slate because I do think they're underpriced at only 7.3. DeMar DeRozan could definitely blow this one away. And then they get a pace bump playing on against these New Orleans Pelicans, a team that plays fast, so you love to see that. So it's a combination of the salary and a combination of the matchup. They're going to get a bump up in pace. Devontae Murray, I was really high on. DeJounte Murray, I was really high on last time out. He was only 6'4", now he's 6'8", but he could definitely still pay off that price tag. I liked him a lot more at 6'4". Unfortunately, he got a price bump up, but still got to like him. But I would like LaMarcus Aldridge at that 6'7" price tag at the center position. I think that's too cheap, and I do think that he could definitely have a good game in this one. So those would be the top guys that I'm going to in this one. You could always look at the cheapies in a Lonnie Walker and a JJ Redick. Those would be the two guys I'm looking to on the cheap end in this game if I'm looking to get some salary relief. Both guys do have upside at their price. Lonnie Walker comes in at 5K, and JJ Redick comes in at 4.3. So if he gets hot from behind the arc, he could definitely provide you with some upside at only 4.3. Next game, Orlando-Washington. If this one seems like deja vu, if you played last night, it's because it is. There's going to be a lot of these this year where the same teams are playing back-to-back games. So we already broke this one down last night. We got to break it down again. And the thing is, we saw some price decreases on these guys, which is going to make me like them more tonight. I don't know why their price went down, but we saw prices decrease for Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, and Nikola Vuchevich. Nikola Vuchevich was 9-1 last night. I actually had quite a bit of exposure to him just because I thought he could definitely have a big game against this Washington Wizards team, and with the way people were constructing lineups, he wasn't very popular. He was about 5% owned in tournaments, so I had him at 9-1, so at 8-3, I'm definitely going to have interest. So I would definitely be playing some Nikola Vuchevich tonight, and I do think that Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal seeing their price tags decrease makes them even more viable to play together. Before I was kind of picking one or the other, which one I wanted to play, and last night they actually both got it done, and Bradley Beal was 9-3 and Russell Westbrook was 10-3, and now Russell Westbrook is 9-7 and Bradley Beal is 8-9. So yeah, their price went down. They both got there last night, so if they both got there last night, they're not exactly the oldest veterans in the league. I definitely think they could do it again. Aaron Gordon continues to see his minutes limited and on a back-to-back. I'm a little weary on playing him. I'm sure he might be able to get there, but I don't think he's going to provide you with tournament-winning upside, so I probably wouldn't play him. Marco Fultz, Evan Fournier, you could definitely play at the 6K price tag. Terrence Ross, I had a lot of interest in last night. He was only 4.5. He got a bump up to 4.7, but he definitely got there last night, putting up a pretty good score. Let's see if we can find him here at the guard position, I guess. Terrence Ross, 33.5 DK points last night at a 4.5 price tag. So if he could put up 33 last night, he could definitely do it again. The only unfortunate thing is, he got a price tag increase as opposed to all these other guys where their price came down. And in a pretty up-tempo game, I didn't even mention the total in this one, but this one does come in with a 227.5 over/under. So that's pretty good. Half a point behind that New Orleans San Antonio game for the top total on the slate. So you gotta like this one. A lot of options to like. I think I made that clear. But moving along to Philadelphia at Cleveland. This one, not exactly the fastest paced game. Comes in with a 217 over/under, so that's the lowest on the slate. So, that's going to kind of limit my appeal as to where I'm looking in this one. Andre Drummond, Joel Embiid are the top options at the farthest center position. I would not be playing Ben Simmons at 9.2. I think he's overpriced. Last night he put up a real dud at that price tag. I don't know what it was, 39 DK points at 9.7. He was last night. Now he's down to 9.2. So I guess he did go down a little bit, but I still wouldn't be going there, honestly, until I see his price tag decrease. Could he get there? Yeah, but do I think there's other guards that are underpriced and could outperform him literally at the same at underpriced price tags? Yes, I do. Tobias Harris at 6'6" is a guy that could definitely blow away his price tag. We haven't really seen him get it going early on in the year, but he's a guy that I would expect to see up in the 7K range at some point, and he's only 6'6". Been struggling, but maybe a guy you can get a low owned. Kevin Love is a guy that I would definitely like at his price tag if I knew he had a full role, but he did just come back off an injury. He was supposed to be somewhat limited, and he played 38 minutes last night. It was double overtime, though, so I'm just curious to see if he's a full go in this one or if they're going to rest him. We'll look to keep an eye on that as far as the news is concerned. If he's a full go, he would make a lot of sense as a play, and I would like him a lot. Just coming off the injury and then the back-to-back set. I don't know if he's necessarily going to be a full go play. And yeah, those would be the guys I'm looking to in this game. Not really too excited about it. It's a low over-under. Probably one I'd be looking to skip over for the most part. Milwaukee at New York. This one comes in with a pretty hefty spread. Milwaukee expected to win this game pretty easily. As far as the total is concerned, it comes in with a 223.5 over/under. 12.5 point spread for these Milwaukee Bucks, so I would tend to lean towards fading Giannis on this slate just because there's a lot of really, really good plays in the mid-range. Some guys that I've already mentioned, guys like DeMar DeRozan. We've seen price decreases on guys like Nikola Vuchevich, so I'm not really sure that I'm looking to prioritize Giannis on this slate because I could see him just sitting the whole fourth quarter possibly. Chris Middleton's priced pretty appropriately at 7.8. If it was a closer game, I'd have more interest in him, but my top favorite guy on the Milwaukee side is going to be Jrue Holiday at only 6'9". With the blowout, I do think that Jrue Holiday could get there still in limited playing time at 6'9", so he would be my top option as far as on the Milwaukee side, a guy that I definitely like on this slate. Speaking of the strong mid-range, add him to that list. Bobby Portis is the guy that you would see probably have a big game if this game turns into a blowout. He is a fantasy point per minute beast. It's just a matter of how many minutes he gets, and I would expect him to get a lot more minutes if it turns into a blowout, of course. So at 4.7, you could definitely play some Bobby Portis. I'd like him for sure. And then I would be looking to some Reggie Bullock and some DJ Augustine. Those two guys are guys that I'd be definitely interested in if this game turns into a blowout. DJ Augustine could definitely get it done at 3.7. And Reggie Bullock, same thing. Both good shooters from behind the arc, both mid 3K range on DK, where those 3-point shooters get rewarded with a half point. So these guys can stroke in, 6 or 7 threes. You could see them having a big, big game. And then the last two guys I'd mentioned on the Milwaukee side, if I'm playing the blowout narrative, would be Bryn Forbes and Pat Conaton. Those are two guys that could definitely pay off their price tags relatively easy. On the New York side, you could play a Julius Randle. You could play an RJ Barrett. Alec Burks is definitely my favorite option at 5.4. He's underpriced to start the season. He's had a pretty decent role in this offense early on. He put up a good score last night. Put up 38.25 DK points at 5.6, and he has not seen a price tag increase. He's actually seen a price tag decrease. So Alec Burks, I like a lot at his price tag. He's too underpriced. I'd be interested in playing him the most on this New York side, and you could play some Elf Payton, but if you've played NBA DFS for a while, Elf Payton is a real headache. He's probably going to either put up somehow 60 DK points or he's going to put up 10. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just how he plays. So he can kind of be a real frustrating play. I would be playing some Alec Burks, playing some where'd he go? Playing some Reggie Bullock at 3.6. If this game turns into a blowout, those would be my two guys I think could definitely put up some big scores for you. Moving along to this Golden State Chicago game, this one's the one that I have a lot of interest in because I do think there are some mispriced guys in this one, similar to the guys we've been discussing. The mid-range is just really strong on this slate, guys. 226.5 over under, or no, 226 over under, sorry. 3-point spread for the Golden State Warriors. So expected to stay close, and there are some guys I really am going to like. Steph Curry at the top at 9-3. A guy that hasn't really been able to get it going, but the Golden State Warriors haven't been able to stay in any games so far, and this is the one where I could see Steph Curry putting up a big score, so I definitely have interest in him. Zach LaVine at 7-9 is underpriced. I wasn't interested in him last time out because he was playing against the Indiana Pacers, who have some very good guard defenders and guys like Victor Oladipo, guys like Malcolm Brogdon. But in this one, taking on Golden State, a team that's really struggled defensively, I do like Zach LaVine a ton. James Wiseman, you could play at 6'6". He's looked really, really good early on. If you've been able to watch any Warriors games, this guy's been a bright spot in their struggles because, of course, they invested in him high up in the draft. And he looks really good. He can stroke the three, he can get to the rim. He looks real good in the mid-range. He can get the boards for you. Just an athletic big, so I like him. This game's loaded with options. Kobe White, Lauri Markkanen, 6'6" and 6'5". Also, guys that are priced in the mid-6K range that could get you there for sure. Lauri Markkanen can shoot the three. He can get you the rebounds. Not really much of a rebounder, more of an offensive threat, but on DraftKings where you get those points for those three-pointers, I like him. Kobe White, you can definitely play. My top two guys on the Golden State side as far as their price tags are Andrew Wiggins and Kelly Oubre. These guys are way too underpriced for how many minutes they're going to play. You know, both around 6K. They could both just blow these price tags out of the water because, I mean, they could both each literally play 40 minutes in this one. And if they do, I have a hard time seeing them not get up there around 40 DK points at least. So those two guys I would definitely be playing. And then you could have some interest in Damian Lee, Kent Bazemore on the cheap end. I do think that Kent Bazemore could see a bigger role with this team pretty soon. They've been struggling on the defensive end. As mentioned, Kent Bazemore is a pretty good defender, so I'm looking at for him to get an uptick in minutes here pretty soon. So at 3.5, I think he could be an interesting play that you want to play before people catch on to that one. And lastly, on the Chicago side, I do like Garrett Temple at only 3.4. Another guy that's underpriced in this game that saw, mid-20 minutes. Could get up there literally to 30 minutes if they wanted to play him, run him out there if someone gets in foul trouble. And at only 3.4, I think he can get there relatively easy. So a game to have a lot of interest in there. It'll be interesting to see if Draymond Green comes back. Keep an eye on that one at 6.3, depending upon whether he is limited or not. Could be another option. So let's keep an eye on that one. Moving further along on the slate, we got 3 games left to break down. Boston at Indiana, the first one. Jason Tatum comes in at 8.8, top price guy in this game, and this game comes in with a 220.5 over under, so not exactly the top total on the slate, but still some guys that you could have interest in here because both of these guys, both sides in this game do have some talented players. As far as the priced up guys and Jason Tatum and Damonte Sabonis, of course, they're 1A on both of their teams. Damonte Sabonis has been a guy that's been seeing a ton of ownership early on in the season, and it makes sense because he's 8.4, and if you look at his performances, he's been putting up price tags that reflect that he should be priced up a lot more than that. He was 8.5 last night. He put up 55 DK points, and his price tag went down again. Another guy in the mid-range that you could feel pretty confident about playing. So Damonte Sabonis is a great play. Jaylen Brown at 7.5 is a guy that I do think that could have some upside at his price tag. Him and Jason Tatum are 1A and 1B in this offense right now with no Kemba Walker out there, so they're getting a big bump up in usage. So I do like him at only 7.5 compared to Jason Tatum's 8.8. I think Jaylen Brown's price tag makes it a lot easier on him to have a massive upside game than Jason Tatum's does. Victor Oladipo and TJ Warren are both very good mid-range plays just because of the price tag. Once again, they could blow their price tags out of the water. So 6.4 and 6.2, I'd be looking to play them in the mid-range if I'm playing a lineup and I only have around the 6K to 6.4K range left. I like them. And then Jeff Teague taking on this Indiana team at 4.4. You could have interest in him. He was only 4.2 last time out, and a guy that was established role. He had a big game first game, and then it kind of let us down last time out, but he is only 4.4. So you could be looking at him if you needed some salary relief at the guard position. And that's all. That's really all for me. I mean, you could play Tristan Thompson. You could play Daniel Tice. They're kind of splitting minutes. It's kind of tough to determine where you'd want to go there. But they're definitely both viable options. And you can play Miles Turner at 6.1. Are these guys top priority plays for me on the slate? I don't think so. I'll see my projections grade out in the end, but I do think there's some other mid-range plays that really stand out that I've already mentioned. But guys like Jaylen Brown, Malcolm Brogdon, Victor Oladipo, TJ Warren, breaking down this stuff more and more throughout the day, I might find a guy that I like more, but they're all priced pretty appropriately. But with upside is what I'm getting at. Damonte Sabonis, definitely my favorite option. Jaylen Brown, definitely my favorite option in this game as far as on both sides. So last two games, Phoenix at Sacramento. We saw this one last night. We got a similar opportunity here. Chris Paul last night at 7-2. I said I liked him because he's just a little underpriced in my opinion. He went out there and put up a big game, and he's still underpriced. 7-2 last night. He put up 54.75 DK points, and he was 7,500. Got a price decrease down to 7-2. Seems to be a trend on the slate, so he's another guy in the mid-range that's just too underpriced for his role. Him and Devin Booker are getting all the usage in this offense. I like him. The King side, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here because I just cannot stand the way Luke Walton coaches his basketball teams. So I'm sick of it. He seems to always have so much talent on his team, and he just spreads his rotation so thin, and everyone and anyone gets minutes, and you don't see guys get a ton of minutes. So, as far as if you want my advice on this Sacramento side, De'Aaron Fox is really the only guy I'd be playing. His role is definitely cemented at 8-1. He has the upside to get you there, but Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley, they're throwing in Halliburton for a bunch of minutes at this point. It's a little frustrating. I've really wanted to play Rashawn Holmes and Hassan Whiteside. I think they're underpriced, especially Hassan Whiteside now. He's been like 4-2, now he's 3-7, but he refuses to play him more than 10, 15 minutes. So I don't know whether, can Hassan Whiteside absolutely get you there at this price tag and that amount of time? Yes. Are there other options that I think are more solidified and have a guaranteed role, like a Bismack Biyombo that we talked about earlier? Yes. So Luke Walton kind of making it tough on me. I don't know. Harrison Barnes and Marvin Bagley would probably be my top options just because of their price tags, 5-7 and 5-8, rather than paying up 6-9 for Buddy Hield. They're getting around 25 minutes or so. They could definitely surpass those price tags, so that's where I'd be going to there. But overall, on this Sacramento side, I'm just frustrated. I haven't even been affected by this, honestly. I haven't played any of these guys, just the way my lineup construction has panned out the first few slates. So I'm kind of I want to play them, but I know I can't because of how Luke Walton coaches his team. So it's not like I'm upset as far as, personal experience, but I'm almost upset that it's just talent going to waste. I really would like to play a guy like Hassan Whiteside at 3-7, but not sure you can do it. Hopefully he gets the minutes. I might be playing him. We'll see how my lineup construction pans out, but really I'm looking to De'Aaron Fox. I'm looking to Chris Paul. I'm looking at Harrison Barnes. I'm looking at Marvin Bagley. And that's about it in this game. I'd like to play Rashawn Holmes. I'd like to play Hassan Whiteside, but can I? Not all too sure. Devin Booker at 9-5, he could get you there, but some of the guys we've discussed early on in the slate when looking at guys around Devin Booker, you have a guy like Steph Curry who's only 9-3. I'd rather play Steph Curry, so I think he's a little overpriced in this one. The last game, Minnesota at the Los Angeles Lakers. Anthony Davis and LeBron James are both questionable in this one, as well as Karl-Anthony Towns. I do expect LeBron James to play. He's probable. Karl-Anthony Towns is dealing with some soreness after the last one, so we'll have to see how he's feeling. If I'm guessing one of these studs to sit, it would be Anthony Davis. And as far as a lean, as far as if he's going to sit or not, I tend to think he's going to play. We saw this last season with Anthony Davis. They just say he's questionable every single game. He's always got something going on, but ever since he came to the Lakers, he's kind of tried to show he's tough with it. The rep he got with the New Orleans Pelicans, he kind of became a wimp in a lot of people's eyes, and I think he has kind of stepped it up in that category as far as the Lakers are concerned. If he's a little banged up, he's been playing pretty consistently, so I'd look for him to be in tonight, honestly, as my lean. Karl-Anthony Towns, who the heck knows? But anyways, this game does come in with a 226.5 over under. The Los Angeles Lakers are 10-point favorites. So definitely a game that could turn into a blowout, and it'll be interesting to see, like I said, with Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis is out, that'll give a bump to guys like Kyle Kuzma, like Markieff Morris, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one, because I'd like those guys a lot more if he's out. And then, of course, Montrezl Harrell as well at 6-1. My favorite plays in this one, just based on price tags, would be the guys in the mid-range. Once again, I'm not really looking to pay up in a game that's not expected to be the fastest pace and or close. I mean, I guess 226.5 is pretty respectable on this slate. It's up there. It's just a matter of the price tags. LeBron James, Anthony Davis at 10K. You know, they get there? Do we have the value to get to them? I don't know. There's a lot of good guys in the mid price, and there is another guy in the mid price, and this one, D'Angelo Russell at 7.6. I do think he's underpriced to start the season, especially if Karl Anthony Towns is out. This guy's going to shoot a ton. I would definitely like him, and then I would definitely like. Well, regardless, I like Ricky Rubio and Malik Beasley. I would lean Beasley just because Ricky Rubio is not much of a shooter, and he does get some of his on-ball playmaking ability taken away with a guy like D'Angelo Russell, who is so on-ball dependent. So I like a guy like Malik Beasley who can get out and transition, shoot on the wing, and get some threes and get hot. So at only 5'9", I would definitely be playing him tonight. Kyle Kuzma at 5'7", I like him a lot more, though, if Anthony Davis is out. As mentioned, you know, I think he's pretty appropriately priced. The talented rookie in Anthony Edwards for the Minnesota Timberwolves could be an interesting play. It's just tough because I think he's going to be kind of blended in the mix with this rotation right now, probably around 20 minutes or so every night out. So I'm not really sure if I can go there yet. Probably some other guys I've already mentioned on the slate that I'd be going to instead. And yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say as far as this 9-game Sunday NBA DFS slate. That's my overall breakdown. If you enjoyed the content, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. That would be greatly appreciated. I'll be here all NBA DFS season, trying to break it down, giving you guys some plays and helping you to become better NBA DFS players. And then lastly, if interested, you can go ahead and check out my Patreon package. As I had mentioned, been working real hard on that to try to give you guys as many tools as possible at a affordable price. I think it's great. It's treated me well early on in the NBA season. I think it's treated the few Patreons that I have going right now very well. I've gotten some good feedback, so check that out if interested. Wish you guys all the best of luck tonight, and we will see you in the next one.